Hail, Lords of Castle Super Beast. In regard to the most recent discussion about people who supposedly don't have an internal monologue
Yeah.
that spawned this whole NPC meme, the phenomena of the inner experience is completely misunderstood. Each participant's inner experience, inner voice, disconnected ideas, and imagination was randomly sampled. That is, they were simply requested to write down everything inside their head the moment a buzzer rang. Nobody has an inner voice running 24/7. Sometimes you need that brain power for something else. Although frequencies did vary, each participant did have an inner monologue. But what about the people who admit to it? This is purely speculation of my own, but I believe it's the communication issue, not a mental one. When people claim that they can't see an imagined apple with their eyes closed, they're right because nobody can. Sight, in a sense, relies on observable reality, light. You don't see, quote-unquote, imagined things, just like you don't see, quote-unquote, dreams. I believe the same thing is happening with inner voices. Some people just don't consider their subvocalization or errant thoughts as a voice. With citation notes for the study, if you'd like to look at them, given. So it seems, according to this citation, which let's just pull that up. They're saying that study results might have been exaggerated or inaccurate.
I get what they're saying. I understand what they're saying. If it was write down what's in your head right now when the buzzer goes off at random,
that doesn't seem the same as like some people have no voice in their head ever, and some people do.
And you know, somebody or when you ask them, do you hear a voice? And they're like, well, I don't hear it, but my thoughts are, it's not quite the same as hearing, right? I can understand it being a vocalization issue. I will be remiss if I do not bring up the conversation that happened on my stream on Friday. So I'm going to ask you a question that's of some similarity to this study, Wooly. So let's say you're talking to Punch Mom, right? And you have a conversation about spaghetti, right? This is pretty average, normal conversation. And then you think back to that conversation a couple hours later, right? When you replay the conversation in your head, what do your voices sound like?
My voice or
her voice?
It sounds like her.
So I discovered this past Saturday, actually, that that's how most people hear their internal monologue. But when I think back to any memory and I want to replay what was played, it's me pretending to be that person.
Okay, hold on. Are you putting on an imitation of them?
Yes. So when you read a book, okay, let's say you're reading a book, right?
Yeah.
And you're reading the characters in the book, and the character's voice is described, right?
Yes.
And the character talks, and you're using your mind voice to create a sentence, right?
Yeah.
That's just me acting like the voice that was just described.
Okay, but if you're reading a book, that makes sense because you're reading text that has no. You have to convert it into your own brain, but you can always imagine someone else being that role. But if it's a memory of a thing that happened, just play back the sound of that thing happening.
Kind of.
Okay, stop. Stop. No. Hold on. If you play back Thriller right now, Michael Jackson's Thriller in your head, think about it, right? Yeah. The chorus. Are you hearing you singing as Michael Jackson?
So this is the distinction that I kept trying to make that I can't seem to reach with anybody. If I want to remember it, like the words and the song, I can think of it and I remember what Michael Jackson sounds like when he's singing Thriller. But if I want to hear it in my mind, it has to be me because only I can make noise in my mind.
No. If you're playing the chorus of Thriller in your head right now, you're hearing...
Am I remembering it or am I hearing it?
your memory, because it's not playing right now, so you have to think back.
Yeah,
And
I can remember it as Michael Jackson singing Thriller. But if I want to hear it in my mind
with the music
as more than words on a page, it has to be me.
So whenever you hear music in your brain that you like and you're replaying it, not because of the lyrics, but because
it's me going da 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 da, and the words are always screwed up because I can never remember the words. Like Wooly, if I were to remember this conversation later, you would be you and I would be me. But if I wanted to play it back in my head and hear it, I would be playing both parts. I would just have a version of my voice that is me pretending to sound like you.
But what do you hear when you hear the music the first time?
The first time when I hear it?
Like
with my ears or
oh god. Okay. So you're thinking of a predominantly vocal theme in a language you don't know, all right? So you don't have to remember the lyrics because they don't matter. You're thinking of Emil's theme, okay?
Sure.
Vocal is predominant. High-pitched voice, young.
Yeah.
You're playing the song in your head.
Am I remembering
Listen to the music,
it?
the music. Click play in your head on the music. Click the play button.
Yeah.
The voice singing right now is your voice?
Yes, of course.
Is this a bit?
We spent like an hour on it.
This Saturday. Is not a bit.
No. And in fact, this is my first like Saturday was the first interaction in which I'm like, oh, other people are not all like this. I was under the assumption that every time somebody replayed a memory or song or voice in their own head and heard it, they were talking in their own head. Because when you're making head noise in your mind, you're the only performer in there. There's nobody else.
Is this why you hate music?
No. No, I say that I hate music because I'm sick of people shitting on me for my music taste, and every one of those conversations is the worst conversation ever. But I will say that I have an incredibly difficult time remembering any song unless it's playing.
Yeah, because
like when you said Emil's theme, I can't remember what Emil's theme sounds like right now.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
No, I would need to hear it.
Okay. Because the reason why I went to music is because, like, unlike a conversation, music is embedded with the vocals as an instrument. Like, so when you think of like a guitar riff, right? Mm-hmm. You think of you hear the guitar.
No, I hear myself going.
Okay. Well, now, no. Now we're just like, okay, instrument. I'm talking about like the instruments. I'm not talking about the actual.
But I'm not a guitar, so how can I make a guitar noise in my mind?
If you play instrumental music
in
your head with no lyrics,
where I can hear it,
the instrument,
no, it's me making mouth noises imitating the instrument.
All right, we're done here. We're just lying live on stream. Okay, hold on. Drums, just the hit of drums. If there's no actual, it's just percussions. Thump, thump, thump.
Mm-hmm.
You're not hearing the sound of the drum play back in your head? Sounds don't exist in your head? Like what you're
No,
describing.
For drums that's different because I can do this and I know what that sounds like.
When you think about Geef barking, are you not hearing Geef's bark?
No, I'm hearing myself imitate the dog's bark.
Okay, what you're describing is that you don't hear sounds in your head, that you only hear your own voice.
No, I can remember what things sound like. I recognize your voice, right? And I can think about the qualities of, say, your voice and what your voice sounds like. But if I'm not listening to your voice right now, the only thing I could create in my head is me pretending to be you, which is going to be really inaccurate.
So you're unable to mimic any sound you've heard in your head if it's not actively playing.
Well, no, I can mimic it, but I'm mimicking it with my fucking voice. Because you can only talk in your own head with your own voice.
This sounds, dude. And like, are you hitting notes in the right pitch in your brain?
Oh, I suck. I suck ass. That's why I find it almost impossible to start singing or humming a tune from nothing. If I can hear it, then the memory unlocks and I remember where everything is. But like,
so when you memorize a song and it's actually fully committed to memory and you start singing it out loud, right?
Yeah. Let's take Aladdin, for example, because my brother and I used to watch Aladdin all day, every day.
Sure. I was going to say, yeah, that or the 101 song or whatever. Anyways, sure. But you know the song by heart and you start singing it out loud.
Right.
Okay. At that point, when you're creating it in reality, what's running through your brain? Just the lyrics?
What do you mean what's running through my brain?
Like...
I'm saying the words out loud.
Okay. Because... most people, if not all people, can play music back. I can play back right now the Metal Gear Solid theme in my head, and I'm hearing the instruments directly in my head as if I were listening to it, playing it. My voice has nothing to do with it. Same thing if I were talking to somebody or playing back a conversation with Punch Mom. I'm hearing her voice because reality, as the memory was, and its details are being replayed to the best of my ability, and voice, the words being said, and the things I'm seeing are all captured in that memory. You're describing your memories as if they're missing a track, which is the tonality of the sounds you're hearing.
No. They're not missing it. But if I want to hear it instead of remembering it, I have to reenact it with the only thing I have, which is the sound of my own voice.
Okay.
So I remember what the Metal Gear Solid theme sounds like. But if I wanted to think about and hum it in my mind, it would sound like do 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 with my own voice, like I just did just now.
Okay. So this is a 2-step process for you that is a 1-step process for everyone else because they're one and the same.
It appears.
That's crazy. That's fucking insane.
It sucks. I'm getting really sick of doing my internet show and then people being like, "Oh my god, I feel so sorry for you. Your brain is broken." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Now I am sad."
I didn't know this was a possible thing. I don't even know what to call it. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's
anyway. So if I want to listen to a music, I have to listen to the music.
See, the thing is, last time we talked about the craziness of not having an internal monologue, you were equally horrified at the type of person that had none because of how crazy that sounded.
Yeah, who the fuck doesn't have an internal monologue?
Well, here we are.
What are you talking about? I'm describing having nothing but an internal monologue.
But I'm saying this is a similar level of I don't understand how that's a 2-step process. Like, it's so natural to just play back the conversation from earlier and hear your voice or her voice or whoever's voice, because that's not me. That's the way they talk, and that sound, I can play it.
You're you. How can you say anything without your own voice?
Because it's not actually happening in reality. It's happening in my memories. I can do anything in my memories. When you dream, do you dream? Huh?
I dream maybe once every 2 years.
Are you sure you just don't remember them? Because a lot of people, everyone dreams and doesn't remember a lot of them.
I'm sure I don't remember them. But the dreams that I have remembered are nonsense. Like complete nonsense.
Can you recall hearing voices in a dream?
No.
Because when I dream, I
can remember the events, but I can't remember any of the... I can remember, I was being traced by Dracula.
No, you
whatever.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely dream, because everyone does. You don't remember them.
Yeah, no, that I agree with that.
Right. Yeah.
But like when you talk about like a dream, like okay, there's a dream I very specifically remember from when I was a kid. There was a Frankenstein, and the Frankenstein was chasing me around in a graveyard. And PJ Jen from YTV was playing the guitar on a gravestone, and it was like, help me, PJ Jen, and she didn't give a shit. But I don't hear any of that. It's a dream.
So if you have a dream with like your mom's voice or your dad's voice,
no.
No,
the dream is they talked to me and they said this. There's no voice.
But so what, when your brain is experiencing the dream, and now this is hard because you have to pull the memory of the dream. So it's the mental recreation of a mental recreation.
Right. Yeah.
Like, but if I were to remember you and dive into your mind and fucking walk around, if I see your mom standing there and then she turns and says something in the dream when you're experiencing it, does she have her own voice?
No, she doesn't have any voice. She says what she says, and you understand what she's saying because it's a dream.
She has no voice, but the words are just transmitted to you because you understand the words.
Yeah.
But there's no sound.
No, of course not.
Not of course not. What do you
mean, not of course not?
Not of course not, because when people talk in my dreams, they talk, and I hear them in my head.
You don't just understand them.
No, I hear a sound of the voice of the person. It's like I'm mimicking...
But it's not real. There's no noise.
No, but inside of the memory, sounds occur. Sometimes touch occurs. Sight occurs.
Oh, it's just a list of things that happened.
Well, unfortunately, that's not the way my dreams go. And I can say for most people, it's probably similar to that as well. Like, the sensations of your sight, sound, touch, and all that shit are happening inside your head, and you're getting a sensation that echoes that. It feels as if you're hearing that. It feels as if you're seeing that.
Like when Paige and I were talking about this on Saturday, the best that I could come up with is that every memory I have is a script.
It's a text adventure,
and like a script for a play. And if I want to recreate the scene, I place the actors and then read the script. But it's me reading it, so it sounds like me.
Do you picture colors or? Visual details, faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like they're in my mind's eye. I'm not seeing it like a picture in front of me. But on the aphantasia thing, I'm like the one. I see a picture perfect apple.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that because I mean when I say like I mean in your mind's eye, right? But the thing about the mind's eye, I guess, for what. Okay, whatever with the people. For when I say in the mind's eye, I'm describing my understanding of how I've talked to people about memories, dreams, and whatever up until now, and like talking to Punch Mob or whoever about this type of shit. The mind's eye is not just visual. Like the mind's eye can pull up a particular sound, a particular music, a
No, it's
particular.
visual. That's your eye. It's your mind's eye. You see things with it.
Okay.
It's not the mind's ear.
It's not, but somehow it manages to convey these things regardless. And I don't have to split the replay of a sound into a mimicry step or a full recollection step. They can be one and the same. I'm so confused.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
so
think of how I
confused.
feel. Somebody asked me like, "Oh, what about memories of smells?" Like, I can't smell anything, man.
Yeah,
Like,
smell is weird. I can't recollect smelling anything like in terms of like
I can remember the smell of poop and spaghetti.
I can remember you can remember smells. That feels a little more disconnected. But and I don't know that I can say I smelt anything in a dream per se. But at least when but like sound and visuals are very, very vivid to me. And when you talk about recalling a previous conversation, that's the most clear-cut, straight example of like, I'm playing back voices in my mind that are not mine, and they're definite. And I never hear my own voice mimicking other people unless I'm talking into a mic and hearing it in my headphones right now. When I read a book, the narration is read in my own head voice.
Yeah, people were saying they could switch around to any narrator they wanted.
Yeah, I can do that too. I tend not to, but if I want to, I can switch to another voice that's not me in my head.
That seems cool.
And if when a character pulls up that is like a different character of someone that's totally not me, I assign a fake voice to them in my head. So like, you know, this lady has a British accent, so whenever her lines pop up in a book, I hear a British lady now reading the script. I don't know. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, you brought it up as some shit that.
Yeah, this sucks.
That's crazy. I don't even know how to describe that. That's wild. Well, I mean,
don't have not a good brain now. Darn.
Well, I guess my only other thing is like, so you've never played any kind of instrument, right?
I played the ukulele incredibly briefly in elementary school. I did not like it.
Okay. Because I kind of wonder, like, with like, you know, not that it's in your like wheelhouse, but like, would playing music, you know, and like having to recall that, like, is it like something you can train, or is it just like, you know what I mean, or is it just this is how it is from the jump, and it would always have been like this, and for you music would have been just, you know, play by numbers, but like when you're
that's the part. You know, I've talked to Paige about this because Paige is a musician. She plays a couple instruments, and I've never ever been able to understand why musicians need sheet music or a conductor at all. They should just learn how to do all the pieces in a row. And then I was told that what I was saying was the musical equivalent of when you and Eli laughed at me for drawing like a photocopy machine.
Right. Yeah. A writer can write a book. That doesn't mean they're going to memorize the words. To the memorization of the words and the ability to write the book are two separate things. The memorization of music and the ability to, you know, like there's a lot going on. It's much easier if you have a reference. You already know the music and where you're supposed to go with it, but you use this as a guideline to take you where you need to go for like specific moments as you go through it, you know? You're not lost without the music, but you're also not 100% going off of your memory.
Yeah, I see somebody say a conductor's for organizing a whole group of people. If they're all professionals, shouldn't they just all play at the same tempo?
Yes, but it's made easier by having, for example, a metronome, which is a person who acts as a human metronome for you, who can keep you on rhythm, tell you when to go up, tell you when to go down, and guide you. And for a lot of people, they're not. A lot of people in an orchestra are not even looking fully because they're focused on what they're doing and they're pulling back their memories of what they have memorized, plus reading the sheet. But the combination of all of the above keep you in line, right? There are times when, in the middle of playing, you got really good at Guitar Hero. There are times when in the middle of playing a song on Expert, you're in the rhythm and then you fall out of it, you fuck up, and then you have to try to find that way to get back in. And it takes a second because you're like, fuck, where was the flow again, right? And you know, let's say you're doing like Bark at the Moon and you're right in the middle of the you know, and when you fall out, that point of getting back in is difficult, but the more the more safety nets you have around you, which can be something like a metronome, something like your memorization, something like the book in front of you, something like a conductor, these are all things that can help you get right back into it faster if you fuck up, you know? Hi-Fi Rush lets you have 5 different things to get back into the beat when you fuck up. This is all what the point of a conductor and all these other things I'm describing is. You see, and then you hear, and then you recall, and you're using all of these senses to make sure that you do the right thing at the right time. But if
I'm just confused, because if you're like a professional like violin player who's been doing it for 20 years, why are you making mistakes?
Because everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes happen.
No, that's the point of being good at your fucking job. I suck at my job. That's why I make mistakes.
Being good at your job doesn't mean perfection. It means
it does. That's what being good at something. All right. Nope.
Nope.
Not gonna fall into it.
Nope. Nope. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Nope. All right. That'll do for a letter section. We got a full ass bit there. So wow. Fucking just I don't even that last one's a can of worms that we'll leave you on. And take it easy, everybody.
Have a good one. Bye.
We'll see you next time.